Hello, namaste everyone. So today's video is about Mercury retrograde. So I somehow forgot to make this video, but because of recent experience that I had because of Mercury retrograde with the technology that made me remember that Mercury is retrograde. So Mercury is going retrograde and actually, it has gone retrograde on 15th of March, 2025, and it is going to be retrograde till 7th of April, 2025, in the sign of Pisces, where it is considered as debilitated. Right? So today we are going to learn about what results it is going to give in this sign and also how the Muhurta chart is. So what additional predictions do we have? Then please refer to your to your ascendant zodiac sign first and then your moon zodiac sign. Let me tell you, both of them work all together. Okay, so before starting, if you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get regular updates from my channel. So, about Mercury retrograde. So, I have repetitively told this thing that whenever a planet goes retrograde, that means it is shifting its movement towards the backward movement. It stops, reverses itself, and goes backward. And that is there because there is some karma that is left regarding the previous sign or the previous house for that significant planet. And also, there is some heavy karma, deep karma associated with the same sign where Mercury, where the planet goes retrograde. So it's like a vice versa situation. Like you have to fulfill the karma of the previous house so as to fulfill the karma of the existing house where that retrograde planet is. And you have to fulfill the karma of the existing house so as to fulfill the karma of the previous house. So this is a kind of a vice versa situation that goes with retrograde planets. But when a planet goes retrograde, it becomes more closer to the earth. That's why it has more capabilities and it actually give its effect to, you can say into 200. Right. So now we have Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It is the planet of understanding. It is the planet of adaptability. It is also associated with your efforts, your skills, your intelligence. This is the planet that rules the natural third and the sixth house. That's why it is about money matters. It's about business. Mercury is your intellect. It's how you understand things and how you communicate things. Mercury is responsible for your internal self as well because it represents your envious nature or your jealous nature. So all the feelings, all the toxic feelings like jealousy, envious, or revengefulness, all these things are judged from Mercury. So intensity of Mercury actually decides that. Now, if we reverse this Mercury, that means that first of all, it creates miscommunications, right? You become overly observant or overly considerate of things because of which, since we guys are human beings, right? So because of overly indulging ourselves into something which relates to our thought process or thinking process or our intelligence, that can actually clutter our mind, that can actually play with our mind, and it can even lead someone into depression. So that's why when Mercury goes retrograde, people become overly careful. Now it depends in which sign it is going. So whichever sign Mercury goes retrograde in, it is going to go deeper into that sign. It is going to give you karma with the deep activities of that particular sign. So Mercury, when goes retrograde, there's always problems that people face with electronics. There are problems people face with communication. So misunderstandings, miscommunications are also part of it. So another thing that this Mercury is retrograde and it is debilitated. It is in the sign of Pisces. So you can treat it as this Mercury is looking backward. It is looking towards the sign of Aquarius, but at the same time, it wants to fulfill the karma of the sign of Pisces. So when Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces, first of all, what it does is, since Mercury in the sign of Pisces becomes a oblivion Mercury. It's not a logical one, rather it's a very imaginative energy. So it will actually go deeper into that sea of emotions with Pisces. It will go deeper into the secrecy of Pisces, the sensitivity of Pisces. Because of that, a person can actually indulge into lots and lots of confusions in their life. Since Pisces is the sign of confusion, it is one of the most dual sign, right? So if you guys want to know what does Mercury in Pisces mean, I will attach the link below for my video for debilitated Mercury in Pisces. You can understand the meaning there. And now when we talk about retrogression, it is now that this Mercury is dealing with the depths of this particular sign, this particular zodiac sign. Now, I have always told this in all the videos, like in so many videos for Pisces, that Pisces has two extremes. It's either you get addicted towards something, to you get totally devoted. That's why Venus is exalted there, or you get totally oblivion about that thing. When Mercury goes retrograde, it's when Mercury is in the sign of Pisces, we know these people just have their own world. They have their own fantasy land to deal with. They are less in the reality, but more in their fantasy land. When it goes retrograde, these people are actually into their own land only. They have their own set of understanding. So these people become very rigid with their understanding, and they just refuse to understand any logic. They just think about certain things just based on how they want to perceive it. So they have their own mindset, and they become rigid about that mindset. This can even give a person very good intuition, very good indulgence into spirituality as well. But on a practical level, it can make a person have misunderstandings, miscommunications, escapism, or escapist attitude from the realities of life. They just want to escape the reality. They just want to go away from what is happening in the real life. They want to be in their fantasy land, or they want to perceive things on the basis of their understanding. Right? So that's what a retrograde Mercury is going to do in Pisces. So right now we have solar eclipse in Pisces. We have Saturn transiting in Pisces. So Pisces has been a very important zodiac sign. So now this it's a Mercury going retrograde and also making a Neech Bhang Raj Yog, it will have lots and lots of results. But one thing I would say here before diving into the Muhurta chart will be that this Mercury going retrograde, it's still forming a a Neech Bhang Raj Yog with Venus. So this Mercury, although it will create confusions, it will create escapism, it will also create rigidity in a person, but it will also create healing. It will also work towards a healing for an individual. That how we have to retrospect ourselves, our actions, how we have to retrospect our past communications, and then move forward. Because this Mercury is also going to help achieve the agenda of the sign of Aquarius. So wherever Aquarius falls, it is also going to look into that house. So when Mercury goes into Aquarius, or it is looking towards Aquarius, it is using its intuition or its intuitive abilities. It is actually gaining from the chaos. It gains clarity from all the chaos that is happening, because Aquarius is about doing something with a futuristic focus, with a futuristic goal. When Mercury is there, a person becomes very determined to make an innovative change within their surroundings. They are very technical with their communication. So right now, this is a combination of a person using their abilities, their intelligence, you can say, but more so emotional intelligence, so as to seek recognition in front of people or to seek gains in their own life. This can also create blockages in creative endeavors. Although creative endeavors are going to be extremely important this year, till the time all of these transits are happening in Pisces. So, spirituality, mythology, occult sciences, and creative endeavors are going to be extremely important, but at the same time, there is heavy karma associated with that. So people have to be very careful with what they speak, what they create. So it can be a little bit of um, I guess, problematic situations for content creators, because this Mercury will bring in technical glitches and also will bring in creative blockages or misunderstandings through someone's creation. So I remember reading it, reading just a title of a video of Dipanshu Giri sir. He wrote that maybe this is the end, or something like this was the video, that maybe this is the end of the influencers era. So I think that just took my eye. I did not see the video, to be very honest, but that got me into thinking that a lot of cluster that is happening right now, and eventually this era has to end someday or the other, because this is not what we as parents are going to move our kids into this direction. Like, I personally would not want my child to just be an influencer or just make random videos. I absolutely would love if she wants to present herself in the in the limelight or in front of public, but I would want her to do that only for a cause. Like, I am doing that for providing knowledge based on astrology. So I definitely want her to have some expertise and use that as a content creation, rather than just changing clothes and doing this and that. I absolutely am not. I am that, maybe old school or old fashioned, but I am like that, right? So I think most of you will agree to that point with me, right? So, coming back to the topic, now let's dive into the Muhurta chart so as to understand what this Mercury wants from us, and what is the total theme of this particular retrogression. This retrogression is happening for 24 days. So, for these 24 days, a significant change would occur, right? There are many things that we have to take care for, because at the same time, Saturn is transiting into the sign of Pisces. Then we also have a solar eclipse, and that is the actual timeline of solar eclipse, because the major effect of solar eclipse actually happens 5 days prior and 5 days after the eclipse. So that's why all of this is falling into this retrogression duration, right? So let's just get into the Muhurta chart. So the Muhurta chart is the Gemini ascendant. So first of all, I'll give an overview of the Muhurta chart. This is extremely important for all the zodiac signs. So do go through it first, then go to your zodiac sign. And for Geminis, I am going to talk about Geminis after I'm done with Muhurta chart. So the Muhurta chart is when this transit happens. And at that point, we just take a chart and we study that, right? So we have a Gemini ascendant. So everything and anything is going to happen related to communications, technology, technical changes, technical innovations. But we do see the that Mercury being the ascendant lord and also the lord of the fourth house, that means the peace of mind of everyone, actually leads itself debilitated in the 10th house in Pisces, along with Venus, Rahu, Sun. One thing I always see wherever, even though if a person has an exalted Mercury, it is going to act the same, When Mercury conjuncts malefics, even though it is friend of Rahu, it is definitely the friend of Rahu. It makes a person very, very intelligent when it connects with Rahu. They are multilingual, they are multi-talented, they are very innovative, but Mercury conjunct with Rahu can even cause anxiety to a person. So I think because of the Sun, Rahu, Venus, Mercury, there's a lot of misunderstanding of authority. Misunderstandings also with the government, with the politics as well. So we will see a lot of lose or loss-like situations within the politics or with the government. Lots of changes, lots of confusion, chaos between the understanding of people as well, understanding of people towards the government as well. That's the mundane thing that we see. Also, we have Mars in the ascendant in Punarvasu. We have Moon and Ketu in the fourth house. I always talk whenever Rahu goes somewhere, just fulfill the purpose of Ketu so as to fulfill the purpose of Rahu. So, Ketu in the fourth house, along with Moon, tells us that we have to, this is the time. This is the time for retrospection. This is the time for going within, researching about the minute details, researching about numbers, researching about what our actions, what have we done previously, about the past actions, about the present actions. It is just about revisiting our our thoughts and the actions that happened within our heart only. This is not right now. This is the time of action, definitely, because this time we have Mars in the ascendant in the sign of Gemini. But these actions must be well thought of, well planned, well thought. Otherwise, a person can lose his or her dignity. So see, there's a lots of planets in the Kendra. So that means most of the things are going to happen within oneself. So the actions will be required, of course, but very well planned and diversified actions. So competitiveness is there, deep thinking is there, deep research is there, critical minded, analytical mind is there. But there is a very sensitive relationship or sensitive point with the authorities. So if you guys or any one of us is dealing with any authority, it can be our maybe I am working at a company, it's my boss, or if it's someone else, it's even government, it's any legal matter I'm doing. I have to be very, very sure of my documentations. I have to be very, very sure of not being misinterpreted or miscommunicated. Because this miscommunication, this chaos, this confusion is going to lead me into isolation and conflict within my mind because Moon and Ketu are in the sign of Virgo. So, this is the time for us to have clear communications, right? But in an order where we use that communication so as to deal with our emotions and our past actions, past things. So, this is the time to heal the past. But we have to be very careful. It's a very vulnerable time, it's a very sensitive time. So Mercury is going retrograde in the 10th house along with Venus retrograde. Then there is Rahu and Sun. So Mercury is actually looking towards Saturn also. That means there has to be a structured communication. I won't say there has to be a restricted communication. Rather, there has to be a structured and planned communication. Similarly, this also works for one's relationships. Relationships are going to go through a very, very crucial time where you will feel detached emotionally with the relationships. Rather, you would want to, you want to rethink or revisit the past communications and then deal with it in a very diplomatic way. Because remember, Venus is exalted when Mercury is debilitated, and Mercury is actually looking towards Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. So there are going to be much of creative blockages also, but those creative blockages are there because universe wants us to stop, rethink about what pattern has been followed since a very long time, and then analyze what should be done ahead. And right now, it's the time to lose the logic. Not every time it's the time to use logical mind or use the logical sense into all the situations. Right now, it's the time to lose the logic and trust one's intuition. Trust one's experience of the past because it is retrograde. It's your past experiences. You learn from your past experiences. Your past is going to come ahead in front of you. That's not just past people, that's past events also. You will have to deal with that. Now, for Gemini people, this Mercury retrograde is happening in the 10th house. You have to rethink about your authority. You have to rethink about your communication with the authorities within your workspace also. Trust me or not, there is some politics that is cooking within your workspace. Especially females and younger people are involved into this politics towards you. At the same time, you are going to deal with a lot of traumatic events or, very mentally disturbing events within your workspace. You would want to change. There will be restructuring within your workspace, within your job. But since there is a Rashi Parivartan Yog between the Jupiter, which is the seventh lord, and the 10th lord, and Venus, which is the lord of the fifth house and the 12th house, this can act in your favor, but in your favor, not in this existing organization, but I would suggest you to look for other options as well. It can be like that you lost one opportunity, but you regained another. This is your time to research on different opportunities that you might get. And this will create a significant transformation into your work. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to switch a job with the switch in skills and expertise. So that's why you will learn more about new skills, new abilities, or you're just refurbishing your skills. But there is a lot of diplomacy that is there going around within your workspace. Either you will have an opportunity to just ignore that, or you will have the opportunity to escape that. Okay. At the same time, you have Moon and Ketu in the fourth house. You yourself are looking for answers. You yourself are searching for things. You are actually maybe calculating on the calculator that this much money I have in my bank, this much savings I have in my bank. What if I leave this job, and how much money I can use to get on with the coming months as a like a backup thought, right? But I would say that for Geminis, this is the time to look forward about your past actions. You have to change the pattern. It's not just about your surroundings. First, we talked about your surroundings, so that's different. Now it is about your patterns that you have followed. 10th houses of hard work, 10th houses of authority, responsibility. This Mercury retrograde will make you escape your responsibilities. But the Saturn, which is backing this, placement up from the ninth house, it will give you instant karma if you try to do so. And also, this will affect your image out in public. It can have a negative effect because the Lord of the 10th house is going into the 12th house, and it's not in the best position there. Also, although going third from itself, it's a good, placement going third from itself. But Jupiter is in Rohini. People will think of you or presume you or perceive you to be a very dominant figure who is just very selfish, very self-centered. But I think this is what is required right now. This is what is actually the part of your karma. This is the catalyst for you to take towards your growth. So, if you are planning to dive into some creative endeavors, I would highly recommend to research first and then dive into them. Because this Mercury can create blockages with creative endeavors and misunderstandings with whomsoever authority or interviewers you connect with. Okay, so be a little patient. Action is required, but in a very structured way. Now, next is the sign of Cancer. For Cancers, this is happening. Mercury is going retrograde in the ninth house, right? It is the Lord of the 12th and the third house. So you might have a revisitation towards your something that has happened in your life which felt very injustice. So it's like a thought to revisit that particular situation. But I do see Cancerians would have a very difficult time with the in-laws because you have Saturn in the eighth house, which is actually leaving your eighth house. Then you have Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde. This is the time for you to very diplomatically balance your relationship with the in-laws. There can be some misunderstanding, miscommunication with the gurus or with elderly ones, elderly people. Your mind is totally into research right now, totally into research work. You're looking online, you're Googling this, that, anything you get to know, you are just on Google and trying to figure that out. But when a retrograde planet comes into the ninth house, a person revisits their ethics, their moral sense. Ninth house is your fortune, it's your belief system, it's your religion, it's your philosophy, your wisdom. So, this Mercury says that you are trying to read out something, you're trying to find something out. Find something out which is going to act as a power of wisdom for you. But this is the time where you sit, analyze oneself, analyze your own thought process. This is not the time for you to take actions. This is the time for you to observe. This can give you misunderstandings with very elderly ones, with your father figure. But it's the time to actually adjust and indulge with the present situation. And your mind is going too deep. Your mind is totally into, deep thoughts. And this Mercury going retrograde is actually giving you, it's actually amplifying that placement, that deep thoughts placement. So you might be learning something related to from a mentor at a distance or through social media. Because I told you, you're Googling all the time. You're trying to study so many things online. But this Mercury retrograde wants you to revisit your ethics, your stance, your goals, what you actually plan to do in your life. What is your dharma, right? So next is the sign of Leo. For Leo individuals, this is happening in the eighth house, Mercury retrograde. You are going to dive so deep into occult astrology. You're going to start looking answers. What now? What is going to happen now? So I would share something here. So there's a person in my family with Leo ascendant. So he was never so much interested in astrology, but just the other day, 2 days ago, he came to me and he was like, "Tell me, what's going to happen? What should I do? Where should I get my, hand analyzed?" And I was like, "You don't need to get your hand analyzed. I know your chart and I can tell you what you want." So I saw that even though he is a person who is not that much interested in astrology because he's a very spiritual person, he he actually works on the theory of karma. So he never showed so much interest into astrology. He did listen to a lot of videos on that. I see him listening that, but he never was finding answers from astrology. But it was the very first time I heard this from him when he was looking for answers. That I knew that it is the effect of Ketu coming into his ascendant. But at the same time, this is the actual theme I can see for the Mercury retrograde. They can have some miscalculations with their fixed assets also. Some repetitive things they have to deal with their inheritance, with their fixed assets, with their joint assets with the family or with the spouse. At the same time, there is a lot of back and forth between their communication, their understanding, and their finances and their possessions. Right? So, moon we have in the second house. These people are going to become very critical talkers, critical communicators, right? You definitely, because of a Mercury debilitated and retrograde in the eighth house, you have to take care of your health. You have to take care of your married life as well. There can be a secretive encounter with a past person, but secretly you are feeling very deep into your thoughts. This can even lead into intoxication for a Leo ascendant or a Leo moon, because having cluster of planets in the sixth, in the eighth house with retrogression, they go way deep into their thoughts. And because of that, they become very pessimistic. So you would see for the 24 days of this retrogression, you will start feeling very much keen on knowing the secrets, knowing the information, and also very depressed because of that. Your peace of mind is just playing there. It's playing with your head. There's going to be revisiting the past situations. This happened in the past, that happened in the past. And even there can be some past friend that would encounter you because it is the 11th lord. And then it is also the second lord. Then it is possible that you might have invested your money somewhere previously. You might want to get it out now. But this is a very deep thinking situation for Leo ascendants. This Mercury retrograde is going to make you deal with the depths of your life, of your soul, and also of your relationships. Okay. And also, if one thing I would say that this is the time for you to learn, to accumulate knowledge, and to just as a part of remedial measure, I would say this is the time where you help someone selflessly. I'm telling you that is going to make you gain something very good. Financially, I think it's a better situation, but somehow you will feel disappointed. You will have good finances, but at the same time, maybe you have equivalent debts. That's why there's a lot of burden, and that's why you are feeling dissatisfied from it. But there's a lot of retrogression, there's a lot of getting done with your debts, with your loans, or with such things in the next 24 days. Okay, now next is the sign of Virgo. Now, for Virgo ascendants or Virgo moon, this Mercury is going retrograde in the seventh house. This is your time to heal your relationships, your business. There can be miscommunication with the partner, with the wife or husband, or miscommunication within your business. People can misinterpret you because whenever Mercury comes with Sun, there's always misunderstanding. But when it comes with a retrograde Mercury, there's deep misunderstanding. Okay, so you would require to be very patient with your relationships. I think emotionally right now you're feeling clueless that what should I do? You're just feeling lonely. You're just feeling alone. And you're not just getting to this point that what should I do? What should my next step be? But right now it is the time for you to go within, to you to connect with yourself and with your relationships. A past conflict can arise within your marriage or within your relationships or business. Or someone from the past can come into your life, and you will have to deal with that person. Now, Mercury is your first lord and your 10th lord. It could even mean that there is a past opportunity that is going to come again into your life, and you will have to deal with it. That's because at the same time, we have Mars in the 10th house, right? And Mars is the 8th lord and the 3rd lord. So, significant change and hard work is required because there is going to be a significant transformation in your career. That's why hard work is going to be required within your career. But this is your time to heal your relationships and to avoid misunderstanding within your relationships. Because it will make you, right now, it's like you're observing too much. You're, letting each and everything affect your mind and intellect too much. So this month can be a little crucial for you people. It can emotionally be very burdening for you people, but this is the time for you to actually understand and segregate the situations of your life. Go one step at a time. Do not just clutter your mind with all the things you're thinking. Just go one step at a time. There can be some, disagreement or some separation like situation or loneliness within your relationships or partnerships. But communication will matter. So try to have a clear communication. It can even give a spiritual transformation to your partner. Okay. So now let's go to the next one, Libra. For Libra individuals, Mercury is going retrograde in the sign of Pisces in the 6th house. You will have to deal with the past conflicts, especially related to romance, love, friendships. And also you will have to deal with conflicts related to your relatives. Okay, there is some hidden politics or heavy politics that is taking place within your workspace with your colleagues. So this is a very crucial time, I would say, for you people. You will have to, and be very careful of your documents. Very careful with your documents. Do not act oblivion about what's important. Do not escape your health. Do not ignore your health. Do not try to escape any conflict. Although I am getting that you will try to escape conflicts, but let me remind you, Saturn is coming into your sixth house. It will not let you run away. So it's better to deal with the situation and organize it before Saturn actually enters in the sixth house. Okay, so it is a significant time for Libra individuals. They have to deal with a lot of things. They have to deal with health issues, conflicts, legal matters. They have to deal with you know, work politics, disagreements with the colleagues, problems and blockages with creation and creativity, because now the universe does not want you to just just escape the conflicts or escape problems in your life. They want you to deal with it. Saturn is going to make you deal with it. It's going to make you negotiate with your problems and with whatsoever the sixth house has for you. So it's not the best situation or the best time I see for Libra individuals. But I do feel that your intuition is going to guide you very well. Uh, I would even suggest you people not to take any major decisions alone. If you want to take them, get a guidance from someone you think can guide you very well. Okay. So next we have the sign of Scorpio. Now, this is happening in the fifth house. That's a lot of, chaos within your mind right now. It's in the fifth house. So it's fifth house is your intelligence. Fifth house is your mind, your thought. And it's not your thoughts, but it's your mind, calculative mind. It's your creativity. It's how you express yourself. So this Mercury going retrograde in the fifth house, definitely a past person is going to come into your life. This past person can even be a friend, or this past encounter is something that you will keep secret, right? But there is a lot of things that are going within your mind. There can be a lots and lots of confusion based on your feelings, your creative self-expression. There is a need for a dreamy romance. You need a dreamy romance in your life. You might not talk about it because of the Jupiter in the seventh house, because you know your partner has not been feeling the same. Your partner has been very dominant and harsh right now, but internally you do want that lifetime, love of the lifetime. This is your time where you should actually do some uh, selfless services for the betterment of the society. It will also give you the opportunity to do some creative, innovative changes for the benefit of the society, for betterment of the society. But this Mercury going retrograde in the fifth house, do not invest into shares. Do not make heavy investments right now. You will be like getting into loop of it. Just wait a little for a little bit of time and then do it. Okay. Now, next is the sign of Sagittarius. For Sagittariuses, this is Mercury is going retrograde in the fourth house. When Mercury goes retrograde in the fourth house, you talk to yourself, you think to yourself, you become spiritual, you read a lot. So Mercury is going retrograde. That means that you have to revisit your childhood trauma. You have to revisit your inner self and analyze your inner child, your emotions, your peace of mind. Right now, it's a very, very sensitive situation for you, very sensitive situation. You want to be into your comfort space, but you are forced by the circumstances to go out, and you feel very difficult with your emotions. This is the time for you to connect spiritually with yourself, with your internal self. Since Mercury is the lord of the 10th and the 9th house, 10th and the 7th house, there can be revisiting of the past partners, or there can be a revisiting of conflict within the marriage or with the spouse or with the partner. That's because Mars is there in the 7th house, in the sign of Gemini. There can be opportunity, a missed opportunity might come in regards of career. But right now, your career needs some creative change and some addition in respect of knowledge and innovation. So Moon in Hasta in the 10th house with Ketu makes you detached, makes you feel very detached with the social responsibility or the responsibility, your karma. Because now you are like, I need to first get myself healed. I need to correct the wrong patterns first and then move forward. So that's the story you will want to play out within this Mercury retrograde. Now, with Jupiter in the sixth house, and with this retrogression, definitely you would experience some conflicts within your home environment. There are some conflicts that would resurface, that would come into your home and then disturb your peace of mind, the structure of your home. And it also means about restructuring one's things in the home. So you would want to make some quick changes within your home or within your home environment. Now, next is the sign of Capricorn. For Capricorns, Mercury is retrograde in the third house. You right now are going into deep research, just like the people, Leo individuals, just like Leo individuals. There is deep research, there is miscommunication, misinterpretation, problems with technology, technical glitches, right? At the same time, you feel the need to rebel with your emotions. You feel the need to learn something to find a focus in life. At this time, you can be very critical of your gurus, mentors. You can be very judgy also for so many people out there, for others completely. But this Mercury going retrograde in the third house will actually help you enhance your creative skill. But your encounters or your communication with other people can suffer. So be very careful of what you communicate, how you communicate. Be patient. Learn to use less words and observe more. There can be a social media encounter with a past person. There can be some past related events that you have to deal with. which would actually make you feel that it's actually a past situation that arised again, and now I again have to gather so much courage to get through it. You would also retrospect and look into your health, physical appearance, and you would want to correct it. You want to work towards it, make efforts towards it, right? So next one is the sign of Aquarius. So for Aquariuses, this is happening in the second house. So I recently just made the new video because of this Mercury. That is the reason I'm making Mercury retrograde, because I made the video for Aquariuses and there was a glitch with the a voice, and I had to redo it. So you will require to redo something related to your finances or communication, like repetitively communicating something. But definitely, this is the time for you to realize your way of expenditure and your lifestyle. There's going to be a significant change within your lifestyle, within your relationship with the family. You are going to rethink about the traumas, the family traumas, the generational traumas, and you're going to heal that. You're going to observe similarities between you and members of your family, and then you're going to be like that, we need to change this pattern. This pattern needs to change now. And Mercury retrograde going into the second house will make you deal with lots of career opportunity in sorry income generation opportunities. So you would want to explore different investments or different opportunities of earning more or growing your finances, your possessions. This Mercury retrograde also for, I think, Capricorns and also for Aquariuses, you people might want to buy a new phone, or simply a technological device, a technical device, you know. But definitely, since your eighth and your fifth lords are coming to the second house, this this can also make you learn about the secrets of astrology or the secrets of finances, financial growth, and speak about it in front of people. So you might start your channel of financial advisors or a blog of financial advisors, but you will research on it. You'll definitely want to study different options for investing your money, putting your money in. But this is your time where you are going to very diplomatically deal with everyone in your life. You're going to break the generational patterns and also the traumas, the past traumas. Okay. Now, next is the sign of Pisces. For Pisces individuals, Mercury is going retrograde in the ascendant. When Mercury goes retrograde in the ascendant, a person looks within. They want to analyze themselves, their own actions, their own personality, and even their physical appearance. So you will feel very communicative, but this communication will do very well if it is related to mythology, it is related to spiritual studies. But right now is a very fragile point for Pisces. Try not to communicate what is not required to say. So you can take out piece of information which is very sensitive, and then there's going to be war because of that. There's going to be problems, complications because of that. There are certain disturbances within your home, and your heart space is right now running fast here and there. It's not at peace, definitely. But during this Mercury retrograde, you will look for ideas. You will observe more. You'll enhance your skills. You'll work very diplomatically. You will want to feel youthful. You would want to, you will actually also experience lots of confusions related to your career, related to your relationships as well. Your mind somehow is towards relationship, but you are trying to emotionally detach from others so as to look into yourself, help yourself with your establishment, your growth. So this Mercury retrograde can even give you a tendency of anxiety, depression. So you just need time, some time off. You need time to be there for yourself. You're going to deeply analyze your health, your well-being. Okay. Now, next is the sign of Aries. For Aries, this is happening in the 12th house. This will give you very good intuition, at the same time, very good judgment. Mercury is the lord of the third and the sixth house. You might also get done with your debts. Your mind right now is focused towards getting done with the tests, and you will actually be getting done with the tests. So you will get opportunities, you will use those opportunities to get done with the debts. At the same time, you will have to incur heavy expenditure. That expenditure is related to luxury, royalty. So either you are making a home, or you are getting married, or anyone in your family is getting married, because of which this major expenditure is there. Right? At the same time, your mind feels very conflicted. You might also want to take help from your relatives, or you might have to help your relatives. But this is the time where you are in your own world. You want to indulge into your own self. You want to deal with your subconscious mind, your dreams, your world, your belief system. Of course, just like Leo's, your mindset is also getting afflicted. You are becoming pessimistic. You are lot of times within your own self. But I would suggest you to do something. Since we have Ketu and Moon in the sixth house in Hasta, we have Moon in Hasta, try and write Write your desires, write your way out of such situations, write what you want. Okay? So that is going to help you. But be careful with your reactions, be careful with your communication. That may be triggered because of your emotional depth and sensitivity, and that would not be in your best interest, right? Now, next and the last is the sign of Taurus. So, for Taurus individuals, this is happening in the 11th house. Again, there is a re-encounter, reassociation with a past person and past events as well. This is your second and the fifth lord in the 11th house, but debilitated, retrograde, but with an exalted planet. So you will be able to gain out of lost situations, gain out of missed opportunities. The only thing is there that you have to be calculative with your intuition, not with your logical mind. Try not to escape your social recognition. Gain your confidence and use your confidence towards it. This is the time for you to learn so many things so as to fulfill your desires. Right? Mercury debilitated can cause misunderstandings with your love encounters or your friends. So be very clear with your communication. Try and not, don't avoid unnecessary communications. And also avoid your communications with some organizations. If, for example, um, someone came in, some organization came in for you to you for donations, right? So something can play out because of which you can just be misunderstood, and you will feel very bitters with that particular incident, and you'll rethink about it n number of times. You'll just go into deep thinking. So just such type of encounters with large number of people are can be there. But at the same time, this Mercury going retrograde, it will make you deal with your career changes. It will make you deal with the enhancing, bringing in some innovation towards your career. And that will lead to recognition as well, right? So I think for you people, this is a time where you have to, retrospect your decisions, your past decisions, your past people. You have to deal with the lots and lots of situations related to that. But I feel since you have Jupiter in the ascendant, you'll be able to get through it, and your ascendant Lord is also exalted there. It is indeed a time for you to gain from numerous people, but be careful of misunderstanding and misinterpretations. Do not escape vital situations of your life. Deal with them. Also, be careful of whom you are interacting yourself with. Your friend circle. Is that a good influence on you, or is that a bad influence on you? Okay. And it also shows me there is definitely going to be love and romance on the paper. And because of the past, like your ex can return or your past person can return, right? So those are the things that I see. So yeah, guys, this was my analysis about Mercury retrograde for all the zodiac signs. I hope this is helpful. If you guys would like to have your personal reading, please check out the link below www.anmollastrology.com. Under reading section and unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye. Take care.